Hello, my beautiful Virgo friends, and welcome to our October 2021 reading. This is such an interesting month in general. We have a Mercury retrograde moving through Libra, which will go direct on the 18th this month. We also have three other planets going direct. We have Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter also going direct during the month of October. And of course, we're moving through Libra and then into Scorpio season, which is this spiritual, deep time of year. I find both Libra and Scorpio seasons to be deep dive time, like getting really clear, getting really honest with ourselves, finding really deep truths, and reconnecting to our spirit and our soul. And Virgo, for you, as all this energy, Mercury retrograde moving through Libra, new moon in Libra, sun in Libra, Mars in Libra all month. These energies are going to be asking you how much you value yourself, value your energy, value your time and the things that are around you and your resources and all of that. So much of the second house people will mention it's about your money and your possessions, but for me, those things it's really about the energetics behind it, right? How worthy do we feel of our life? How worthy do we feel of interconnectedness? And as these planets go direct as well, including even Mercury, there's going to be greater clarity, and the kind of clarity and forward motion we haven't had for several months, as we have been working with all this outer planet retrograde action going on. And as we get deeper and deeper into October, we're going to be finding that we really know some things, right? We really know where we are on this path, and that it's like you can't really unknow it, right? It's like, yeah. One of the messages that came up in regards to all of this was, signs. Sometimes it's really fun to ask for signs and receive signs in our life, right? To feel that interconnected quality of the universe. I mean, it's the best. The message that came up, kind of thinking about all this energy moving through Libra, this sign of value and worth and self-love and energetics, and then moving into the depths of Scorpio, and then having all these planets and really deep signs moving direct, and having a Mercury retrograde that's about review. This message came up for me. Are you going to accept those beautiful signs or not? Because we can get a little addicted to forcing the universe to prove something to us. But if we're not willing to see those signs, see that it's going the direction we want to, there will never be enough signs. There will never be enough proof to show you that you're allowed to walk in the world the way that you want to walk into the world, right? You will always find yourself longing for more and more and more. Whereas if you are in a state of receptivity, you're saying, yes, I do believe that I am supported and that I'm allowed to share my soul and that I am really hearing myself, so I'm really listening to where I'm meant to go. Any sign that comes through is just going to be a nice feeling. I think, signs can only do so much, right? Because either we feel connected to our soul and we're really listening to our deeper truths, or we're not. And signs will be as effective as that internal dialogue is. And believe me, I've gone through different phases in my life where I would be in a lot of doubt, but I'd really want to not be in doubt. So I'd ask for a lot of signs, and the signs would come, and they would actually propel my doubt into greater fury. And interestingly enough, I remember a few years ago, before I was married, before I met my beautiful husband and all of that, I was dating this guy. And it was clear deep down, I hadn't been listening to myself for a while, but it was clear deep down to me that it was never going to work. We were in different places and the energy just wasn't there, but I just did not want to hear that message, even though I could feel it in my soul. I wanted signs that would show me that this thing was meant for me. And I actually would get the signs, but I wouldn't receive it because deep down I also knew that I was meant for something different. And that's one way you could read this. Another way is if there's something that's really meant for you, right? If there's really something that is calling your spirit and is right for you, you don't need all those external signs, right? They're nice, they're good, but they're not required. Tower, Virgo. Yes, this is so interesting. The Tower hasn't come out for a little bit. We had a little break from Tower energy, but here we are. And Queen of Swords. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull actually one more for you all. Seven of Wands. Okay. We're going to be laying some boundaries. We're going to be getting clear on some things. I'm also going to pull from my Hidden Worlds Oracle deck here, just to give a bit more of a very spiritual message. This deck is gorgeous, and it's very angelic and ethereal, and very much about the bright, beautiful lights of the hidden worlds. Dawn Watcher. Caretaker, guardian, support. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love this. Okay. So with the signs, my point being, accept the beautiful signs, accept the conversation with the universe, and also hear yourself deep down inside as well, and allow those places to be heard fully and to feel that certainty and to cultivate that certainty. Now with the cards, we have a really interesting, powerful rebirth process going on here, which I'm like okay, here we go. When we work with self-worth stuff, when we work with allowing ourselves to be loved and cared for, and to care for ourselves, and to really get serious about self-love, it's a lifelong journey to remember it and to bring it back. We go to a rebirth place, and that's what I'm seeing here. So obviously the Tower is a card of transformation, and it's one where we are toppling old power dynamics. And the Tower almost always makes me think about inner family systems and therapy. And I'm sure many of you know about inner family systems, which is where we really take a moment and we listen and hear and witness all these different aspects of ourselves, including old past versions of ourselves, protective mechanisms, and understanding like the hierarchy and who's speaking when from within, right? Each of these aspects of ourselves. And like the Tower for me reminds me of when you recognize that there is a voice or an old traumatized version of yourself that is dominating the conversation and directing actions, directing movement in the world in a way that isn't working for you. And there being an understanding that traumatized or hurt or worried or guardian part of yourself that is kind of keeping you at bay is getting kind of ousted from its seat. Now, this is kind of the violent way. You wouldn't really do this in inner family systems. You'd be much more nurturing. But the point being that sometimes we have to reshuffle the power dynamics inside of ourselves. That inner critic, that inner review board, that inner dictator, that inner worrier, that inner skeptic, any of those, might apply, that have been holding you back and not letting you live the life of your dreams, are going to be under review this month. And they are going to have a review process where, yes, we're going to give them grace and love and recognition. We're also going to say you're no longer in charge. And that is really what the Tower is about. Now, of course, people are often freaked out by that card because it manifests in our lives if we don't listen for years and years and years. It can manifest in our life as these big dramatic fallout moments, right? But that's only as a result of not hearing this stuff as it's happening within you. So even us sitting here right now having a moment to be like, let's look at that inner dynamic. Let's look at who's in charge, who gets to make the decisions, and let's give some love to the parts of ourselves that need to take a step back. And that, first of all, is super empowering. Second of all, is very creative. Third of all, will never leave you in the kind of toppling life melting down situations that so many of us have been in when we haven't listened to our souls. And I know you know your own story with that. I could tell you so many. I don't have time here right now, but I'm going to be telling more of those stories over on my Patreon, I think. Anyway, we also have very interesting, almost combative energies. The Queen of Swords, of course, sets boundaries, gets really clear on her communication, and understands her preferences. She is going to write down, she's not going to just say things to make other people comfortable or okay with her presence. She's not going to just do things because she wants to be accommodating. She's going to do what's really true for her. And Seven of Wands is about holding your stance. So it's really interesting with me here because these are very stubborn energies. And there's almost this sense that like you've got to decide your worth, your life, and that you are worth letting your spirit and your soul speak. And that the skeptic, critic, harsh, part of yourself that doesn't want to see the signs, doesn't want to believe in the interconnectedness of the universe, it doesn't want to believe in your worthiness to step back from projects that aren't working, to set healthy boundaries with your close relationships, to ask for what you really want, those all have to step back so that you can let your commitment, your true soul commitment to yourself shine forth. Now, this is one of those things, I have to do this with myself. You know, as a Virgo moon, I'm riding through this reading right along with you, my friends. I have to recommit to my taking this space in my life. Like, not just here, obviously here, this is a big one for me actually, but also in my relationships, also in my creative life, also in the way I live my life, you know, because I don't live life particularly within the lines of what's considered normal. And I never have. And I have to recommit to that and really re-foster that sense of commitment. And it's very exciting, but it also really demands like a determination, right? Like you have to get in there with determination, with intent. And you know, Virgos, you have this like powerful intensity that you can apply to so many things and get these projects done and get these ideas put together and like just move energy, move things. It's one of the things I love about Virgo energy is its ability to take an ethereal thing and like get in there and commit to it and make it happen. Do that with your soul connection. Do that with the signs that are coming in. Do that with the places that are melting away and the places that are waking up in you. And we have this oracle card. So let's go over this a little bit. This deck is just so beautiful. It just takes you straight to like that soulful spiritual realm. But we have the Dawn Watcher, caretaker, guardian, and support. And there's this message here. You've got support. There is this dawn coming. There will be a lot more information. I think even as we get into November, December, you're going to see how things start to come together more and more. But you have support here now. You have compassionate witnessing, loving, angelic forces as this dawn starts to approach. And the more that you commit right away in accepting this guidance and support, accepting this kind of guardian energy that is bringing about new dawns, the more you're going to see it, right? So you are going to get the most out of October in deciding now, whenever you're watching this, that you're really going to see that support. You're really going to see that where there is that toppling of an old power dynamic, the release and the grace sent to a part of yourself that can no longer be in charge, that you are being shown the way forward. And all you need to do is just keep showing up and saying, I'm here for this. It's so exciting. I love this reading. It is so powerful. It is so determined and stubborn and clear and focused, and I just love it. I think this is such amazing energy. I'm going to be going through, you know, your ruling planet Mercury is going to be in this retrograde in your second house. We're going to be going through that, how to work with this particular Mercury retrograde in the context of this year. So I will be doing that on my Patreon, as well as just offering a lot of support as we move into these really deep and intense months coming up. I would love to see you over there. I love seeing you here too, so please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed hanging out with me. I'm hoping to do more coffee and chats in the near future. And you can also find me on Instagram at Sarah Vrba or on my website, so I'd love to see you at all of those places. I will see you all very soon for more of this amazing and interesting time of year. And I hope you have a beautiful October, my friends. Let me know how you're experiencing it in the comments and what's coming up for you. I'm so curious to hear. Sending you my love, my friends.